Remember, sacred geometry started when spirit made its first projection into the void.
Oh, god damn it, I was not ready for today. I mean, what in the actual fornication was that? If there's a more, spirit science line than that, I have not heard it. And really, what is the point of that kind of word salad? The only benefit I can think of is that it makes your similarly brain-lacking mate say, "But what does it mean, man?" Assuming that it actually means something when it means nothing. No, that's not fair. It means less than nothing. Ugh.
The void is nothingness, and these forms created are also nothing.
So everything I've said in the last few minutes, see previous videos, is absolutely nothing. I mean, yeah, I think he's finally starting to get it. Maybe he'll actually stop. Of course, his definition of the word nothing already included basically the start of existence, thus, you know, everything. So he's probably only going to talk more shit, not less.
They're just imaginary lines made out of consciousness.
See, even an imaginary thing is a thing, not nothing. Nothing is nothing. You really have to understand that. Imagined or otherwise, your definitions are just so whack, man. I mean, to be fair, essentially last time you defined squares as circles, so I really shouldn't be all that surprised.
Which gives you an indication of what reality might actually be.
Oh, I wish reality was actually nothing. At least then you'd stop. Although, then again, there would be no more whiskey, and that would be very sad. But is he trying to say that reality is imaginary? Well, how is that useful? I mean, let's just assume that it somehow is not real, but it still functions as we experience it. It has the rules that work the way they do, and we live out our petty, pointless little lives, as we always have. So what? What functional difference does it make if this is real, or fake real, or simulation, or whatever? There's clearly nothing we can do about that hypothetical fact, so it doesn't change anything, especially if you can't prove it or break out somehow. So aside from a nice to know, I guess, why would it matter, and what would it actually change?
Nothing.
Hey, would you believe me if I told you I did that entirely by accident? I mean, probably I am the worst, so if something happens and is seemingly clever, even if only slightly, there is a not insignificant chance that I did a big uh-oh that just happened to work out. That's basically the only way I can explain having any fucking subscribers.
In Hinduism, one word for the reality field is called Maya, which means illusion.
Oh look, random religious word. Do you have like a hat to pick those out of? Or one of those big spinny wheel things? And then you just take whatever religious concept out and stick it in your big board of woo. Also, I did look and there are numerous definitions for the Maya concept. The main one being more broadly associated with Hinduism is, as I understand it, more about personal self-delusion that stops people understanding what's going on around them. It's not about reality per se.
Now that the first sphere is created,
I know what he actually said, but it sounded like the first sphere, which honestly sounds kind of badass conceptually, like one of those cosmic horror type deals, so I can relate, obviously. The first sphere is like a giant hate-filled floating space crab that gives nothing but wet handshakes. Horrifying.
spirit has an awareness of what's around itself in 360 degrees.
So you have zero spirit then? You know, because you lack awareness? Or is it 100% spirit because you have awareness of everything but yourself and your own bullshit? It's hard to tell really because of how bullshit everything you say is.
It moves to the very edge of the sphere, anywhere, and repeats what it did the first time.
Okay, and I really need an answer to this that's not just more gibberish. How the f*** do you know that? Where is this sphere? How did you find it? What measurements did you take on it while it was doing whatever the hell this is supposed to be? You're called spirit science, but I'm almost entirely convinced it's 100% spirit and 0% science. And you just made these videos whilst blackout drunk, or I suppose blew out in your case.
It creates this image, which contains the Vesica Pisces.
Of course, the Vesica Pisces. I've been looking for that everywhere, and it turned out to be just hiding in the land of infinite bullshit. I always forget to check there, mostly because I don't want to.
It is a silly place.
This is a particular geometry that is very well represented in the world.
It is? I mean, a set of testicles, I guess? A butt, maybe? Perhaps the Venn diagram of butts and testicles, which of course symbolizes the contents of Blue Boy's and his fans' brains. So I can see why he thinks that it's everywhere, and also explains why all of his opinions stink so goddamn much.
As the image of the Jesus fish.
Oh, you meant the middle bit, where the balls and the bums and the pee is stored. Okay, I see now. So, yeah, no, that's not the same shape. I don't know if you know this, but the two bits at the back there matter. Just because a shape is similar doesn't mean it's the same. And to put it simply, that is not the same shape. That's why they have different names. I know, we are getting into some real complex territory here for you spirit guys, but yeah, that's a thing. Things that are different things. Wow. Fucking add that to your spiritual bullshit and pretend it's profound.
Reflecting the wisdom of the Word of God from the very geometries of creation.
Fuck off, wisdom of the Word of God. What, Bible God? That guy's as wise as I am sober. That is to say, literally never. If God was so wise, he wouldn't have made humanity at all and would just chill in the infinite void of nothing, being nothing too, because even for an omnipotent deity, existing just fucking sucks. And don't you even get me started on his autobiography, aka the Bible, 90% of which is just made up, and half of that was stolen from other stories and books, which were also made up. I mean, seriously, the guy's such a fucking hack.
Mathematically speaking,
Don't even pretend you know how to maths. You don't even know how to words, so I would be shocked if you could add single digits together, let alone do some actual proper holy shit, this is making my brain melt out of my eyeballs kind of mathematics.
within the Vesica Pisces is a vast amount of knowledge about width, proportion, and depth.
In the bottle of whiskey is vast knowledge about width, depth, time travel, fixing all the rights and wrongs of the world, cleaning, flavor, the entirety of the Terminator franchise, and a picture of a puppy. See, anyone can pull this shit about any object or shape or anything. It doesn't fucking mean something. Well, not for your shape, obviously. I am vastly underselling the power of whiskey and the things it can still teach us about ourselves and the universe. All of its many mysteries are yet to be drunk, but I am trying very hard.
Herein we also have the square roots of 2, 3, and 5, which are all infinite numbers.
You see, that would appear to sound kind of clever and maybe meaningful, but that's like not. What you are calling infinite numbers are called irrational numbers, and are in fact effectively not square roots at all. Square roots are the perfect ones, and are far less common than the irrational ones. What you are actually saying here is that these are all really boring numbers that have an extremely common similarity that doesn't fucking mean anything. Again, see, this is how I know you are either dumber than a really dumb rock, or are just taking things that sound kind of smart in order to trick your audience into thinking you have something of value to say. Although I say either, but...
And we also have geometric information about light.
What the fuck? Geometric information about light is human eyeballs? What the hell are you talking about? For starters, human eyes are like kind of shit light sensors. I mean, they do a good enough job, but even in nature, human type eyes aren't that great. And not only that, but there are loads of different ways to detect light. Unless I'm just missing something and you are just doing am also look like eyeballs.
None of this would have existed with only one sphere.
Nope, literally it has information about light because it kind of looks like a sight sphere. That's not information about light. This is information about light. Does it have that contained within its shapy borders? I'm betting no, because you would have said so. And the only information it has is this random dimensions it happens to contain that any other shape would contain different ones or maybe similar ones, and it's still all completely meaningless.
So now you can probably start to see the significance of this creation pattern.
Ah yes, the significance is that you can infer basically anything you want from simple shapes if you are willing to spew enough utter trite. That's basically your whole entire thing, that I only bring up for the slower kids in the back of the class who aren't paying attention to every dribble of shit that falls out of old Jordan here's face. Although I can't blame them really. Oh, would I, if I could I, ignore this crap.
From here, Spirit continues the creation process, moving flawlessly to create the next circle exactly 1 radius away from the other circle next to it.
So is like Spirit in this instance some kind of being? I mean, it apparently has a will or desire to doodle simple patterns while it's laughing inanely to itself more than likely. And I like the use of the word flawlessly because again, it suggests that he knows this happened, that he's seen it, or that he has some evidence that he's correct in his claims of whatever the hell this is supposed to be, when you know he simply isn't, because obviously.
With every new sphere that comes into being, more and more mathematical knowledge emerges.
Sure it does. I mean, I ain't even gonna check now because I'm pretty sure what he's calling knowledge is just some measurements that you can make. But the thing is, you can measure anything. That doesn't make knowing those measurements knowledge in the way that he means. Yeah, you know more about that particular thing's dimensions, but he means that you know more about the universe in general, somehow. When no, that's not how anything works. There wasn't just a bunch of guys sitting around doing spirographs all day. They actually do work to figure things out. Not just getting stoned and staring at a pattern, repeating,
That's got incident, that's got incident, that's got incident. Oh look, that forms a little circle, that's got incident now.
ad nauseum.
The first complete image to be formed is this.
No it isn't. Like I said, your definitions are insane. This isn't the first complete image in this series of events. This was the first complete image. Hell, this would technically be a complete image too, because image doesn't mean a shape the way I'm looking for it to be. This is just like artistic presupposition. An image isn't an image until it looks the way I want it to. My God, you are such a frustrating creature.
Which has 2 names, the seed of life or the Genesis pattern, and for good reason.
Because it's a simple shape any could draw. Seriously, we've been through this. This is not a hard thing to do. I'll put it this way. If you can draw that at the back of a classroom while your teacher is desperately trying to get you to actually fucking learn something, just because you think it looks cool or was clever doesn't mean it actually is. Idiot teenagers can draw all sorts of simple crap. That doesn't make them mystic moopers of the magic realm, you fucking dipshit.
Let's actually look at the book of Genesis for a moment.
Oh, please, doesn't exist, oh no. Can we do literally anything else? And no, that doesn't mean find another religion or culture to plunder and add to what is essentially a D&D homebrew masquerading as spirituality. Could we just go to the pub and drink until our skins change different shades? I imagine that would make you go a deep shade of cracker.
With each creation of each sphere, it could be seen as a day.
24 hours, huh? I am pretty sure that's how long this portion of the fucking video has been going on for at this point. And oh god damn it, it's only about 7 minutes in the whole entire thing. So if this feels like a day so far, I think we're gonna have hit the heat death of the universe by the time we reach the end. Oh well, I guess I'd better fucking get on with it then.
After the first movement,
More like bowel movement, am I right? Look, I gotta get my laughs where I can. You any idea how agonizingly painful this shit is for me?
when the second sphere was created, we had information about light come into being.
Yeah, you said that before and it was 'cause eyes though. Do you actually have something to elaborate more on with that? And by elaborate, I do mean at least preferably that it not be something even more stupid than because it look like sea nut.
The opening of Genesis 1 says, "The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep."
Okay, now I'm sure you think that you came up with this nothingness thing on your own, and that's why it's just so amazing that Bibbalam have it too. But chances are you were simply influenced by that shit, which was of course influenced by other cultures having similar myths. Now, I don't know if all of them have that, but that's the thing. If you're trying to come up with the beginning of the universe, what are you going to do? Are you going to have it filled with stuff and then more stuff happened? I mean, maybe if you're going with an always been-iverse, but more likely, you're probably going to go with starts at nothing and use something that people can conceptualize. That being darkness. We have all experienced darkness and we all understand that it has an empty feeling to it. So it makes sense sense that would be a thing a lot of the time, but it doesn't mean that they're actually right.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light.
Light before he made the fucking sun, which is just chef's kiss in terms of how little people of the time knew about how anything works. Although watch apologist dipshits go, no, that's God's light, which is different from light for some reason. Okay, jackass, show me what God's light is and looks like, and more importantly, how to detect and measure it. And no, I will not accept it doesn't work like that, because you can just take off like that and then you will be correct. AKA, it doesn't work. See?
The key here is in the order. The movement happened first, then light happened immediately after, just as we saw with the formation of the seed of life.
No, we didn't. You just decided that light was a thing in that, and hell, you decided that movement was a thing in it too, because like everything in this whole goddamn channel's content, you made it up. And you made it up because God forbid you not know how things happened, or you learn how the actual science works. No! You have to be able to say that you know, regardless of how stupid that knowledge actually is.
And we're not even done.
Oh, I think you'll find we are, because if I don't stop this nosebleed, I'm not going to have enough blood left in my alcohol system to continue. Maybe next time, dumbass.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel, Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the